Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review of the paid request, this time for Bobby. Thank you so much for that, and for those interested requests in pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, re-reviews, whatever it may be. Feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. Sorry that I'm stretching my neck out. But, yeah. Pacific Rim Uprising is the film for today from 2018. Sequel to Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim. I don't know if I'll say it, I've never been a fan of Pacific Rim, as I call it Pacific Rim job. Guillermo del Toro, I love Mimic. I really liked Hellboy 1 and 2. But yeah, Pacific Rim never did anything for me. Has some good special effects. I remember not minding Ron Perlman and liking Idris Elba. Did not like Charlie Hunnam. I thought he was boring. I thought he had no personality. I thought he had no charisma. I thought this was a really, really lame lead character to follow. I didn't give a rat's ass about his story. I thought he had no personality. And like this film, there was a lot of cliches. Whether it be like a wannabe Top Gun or whatever you want to call it. So it's like very cliche characters. I thought the acting in this was a bit better, because I do think John Boyega is a better lead. Because John Boyega felt like he had a bit more personality, a bit more of a... just... his acting flowed better to me compared to Charlie Hunnam in the first. In Charlie Hunnam, I didn't give a rat's ass. If he lived, if he died. I didn't care for the Asian lady. I thought she was a terrible actress. The girl in this, I thought, did fine. There's this younger lady. I forget her name. I thought she did fine. Like I said, I liked these actors a lot more than in the first movie. Other than Idris Elba. I do like Idris Elba in that. But I wish Idris Elba was the lead. Like, if his character and his personality was the lead and the focus... and instead of Charlie Hunnam, I think that could have helped it a lot. But yeah, Pacific Rim I could not get into. And that is a big factor. Because when I'm watching those type of movies, unless there's a charm quality to them, like the older Godzilla movies, there's a charm in the effects and stuff. Nostalgia with Son of Godzilla and Godzilla vs. Megalon and stuff. Unless it's that, yes, I do really want, if not characters, then at least actors I could get behind. And hopefully have good personalities and interesting written characters. And if they don't have that, then at least have personalities I gravitate towards. But yeah, Charlie Hunnam was a block of wood, or a block of cardboard, I should say, and the Asian lady was stilted acting, dialogue delivery, and then some. Didn't give a rat's ass about him. That's why, spoiler alert, when she dies in this, I didn't give a rat's ass. I'm like, good. Get out of here. No more of her shit acting. But, yeah. This one, I probably would say I liked more than the first, which I know is not a popular opinion. I mean, both probably have the same amount of action, which is doesn't seem like a whole lot until the third act. I just see maybe like, okay, the visual effects look a bit better in the first, but this one, like I said, the actors helped a bit more. John Boyega, he's just a bit more of a charismatic lead. In this, he plays the son of Idris Elba. It's been 10 years since the first one. And he goes and having parties, and they're partying in mansions that were left behind. And there's a black market that sells stuff like Oreos. And one thing leads to another. He's trying to steal stuff. He gets found out. He goes from A to B, finds this little Jaeger thing, a robot, and there's this younger lady there that can control it. They get hunted down, they get captured, and then you find out more so of who John Boyega is. The girl from the first one, who's like the adopted daughter of Idris Elba, pretty much says, you're going back into this ranger school, or otherwise you're staying in jail. And that's where he goes in, along with this girl, and they meet up with Scott Eastwood, who's trying to be his dad, Clint. But he's not quite there. He's not quite there. It's just like, okay. Like, Wyatt Russell is much better in trying to be his dad, but being his own thing. Scott Eastwood, I just don't know if he'll find his footing. And it's one of those scenes as I'm watching this, I was kind of just letting it pass over me and going, okay. It's not boring me like the other, like some of those Michael Bay Transformer films. Well, actually, I would say those annoyed me more than anything. And I just didn't feel as bored as I did with Pacific Rim. I disagree when people say, oh, it's not as original, because, I mean, the first Pacific Rim wasn't original. It was robots versus monsters. I mean, stuff had done that back in the day. They just didn't have the technology. I mean, Power Rangers. How many times did Power Rangers do that? From Power Rangers movie did that. I mean, fuck. I will say this did kind of remind me even more of Robot Jox, that movie from back in the day. Although, you know what? I rewatched Robot Jox years ago, and I'm like, that movie sucks. Because I think I had a different memory of it. I'm like, man, Robot Jox is better. No, I would say even Pacific Rim 1 is better than Robot Jox when I really think about it. Like, Robot Jox really is shitty. It has a horrible ending where the bad guy that killed a bunch of people, oh, everything's okay, yeah, bro force. I'm like, this dude just killed a bunch of people. What the fuck? Fuck Robot Jox, it sucks. This is better than Robot Jox, and sadly, in retrospect, the first Pacific Rim is better than Robot Jox. Again, I had a different memory of Robot Jox, but anyway. Like I said, it moved at a pace that I wasn't too bored. John Boyega fit the lead role well, and he had more to do here than he did in those Star Wars Disney movies, where they just made him a stormtrooper, but then he was a joke, and a janitor or something, trash guy. Then Last Jedi, he was a fucking joke, going to casinos. The third film, didn't he write like a, or he knew the girl that rode the space horse or something? Fuck those Disney. He was used much better here. Which is funny, I remember an interview where John Boyega is saying his dad didn't understand the Star Wars, but this Pacific Rim, I understand this more. Probably because it's like, hey, this is kind of like a better version of Independence Day Resurgence, in a way. Years after the war, using the technology, among other stuff. Even the very end, when we'll take the bow to them. And this is a lot better. Maybe that's the thing. I've seen so many shitty movies. This kind of was an easier to watch time waster, just because. Charlie Day, he comes back. I never cared about him or his British friend. I never really cared about them. Here, they're a bit more, or just as annoying. But at least with Charlie Day, he's much better in the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia than he is in movies. Whether it be that fist fight movie with Ice Cube or this or the first one, Pacific Rim. He's much better on that TV show. But here, he's controlled by a kaiju brain. So in a way, he's now the villain. So now it makes me at least be right in not liking him. I know he's mind controlled, but whatever. But I mean, because these films cost so much money and because the effects cost so much money, you just not going to have that many action bits. So, other than that bit where they're caught, John Boyega and this girl, it's not until this seminar is happening, and then there's another Jaeger, a evil robot thing. They don't know who's controlling it, and you get in a bit of a fight. And the fights are there. I don't know if it's just a been there, done that quality. It just doesn't feel as special when you've had the first Pacific Rim and the countless amount of Transformers. At least compared to Transformers, you can understand who is who. And you can understand, like, which one is which one. It doesn't feel like a fucking mess of editing. But there's something lacking about it. I don't know how to put into words. So, I could just say my thoughts on Pacific Rim Uprising is lukewarm. Like, maybe I would give a 3 out of 5 star. Maybe 2.5 out of 5 star. I don't even know. 2.5 or 3. Because there's nothing that made me mad. Like, I don't remember, there wasn't really any, like, piss jokes, fart jokes, that incredibly stupid humor. I don't remember feeling that bored with it. I mean, if you want to go into the logistics, why? There's no point. I mean, the plan is for the creatures are going to Mount Fuji because something about them with the elements in Mount Fuji is going to spark the rain of fire around the Earth of the Pacific Rim, and then kind of like Independence Resurgence will just come up and fuck up the whole species and planet. And so their goal is stop them from getting to Mount Fuji. But yeah, I think this one, was easier to swallow for me, so to speak, because again, I just liked the actors more than the leads in the first film. It's still cliche. It's still typical type of characters. Like, you have the character who doesn't like the girl in the training unit, but then pretty soon after, she respects her. I'm surprised you don't have someone who's like 2 days from retirement. It's kind of like time waster junk food, this movie. Where the third act, you get the battle with, there's like 3 kaiju and 4 of these robots, and they each have their moments to shine. One has like a whip thing, one has this like ball and chain thing. Then the kaiju combine to grow a bigger one. I'm surprised the Yater didn't do it and go full Power Rangers. Again, it's kind of... this is a strange review to do, because I know I'm floundering here. I apologize to Bobby, but I'm sitting there going... You know, if I compare it to, like, Godzilla Teen of the Monsters... People don't get mad at me for this. I liked it more than that one. Because this one felt like it had more action than that one. And again, this one, I like the characters... No, stretch that. Because the characters, there's not much depth. I like the actors a bit more in the leads than Teen of the Monsters. Why watch it for the monsters? Well, the monsters barely appear. And you wait forever for them to appear. I mean, like I say, it's your typical story. If you've seen the first Pacific Rim, the battles feel like I've been there, done that. Cliche characters. You're not going to these films for logic of the plot. I remember the trailer going, what the fuck? Is that Tupac in the trailer? War ready? War ready? I'm like, okay, that's a different choice. Maybe you just caught me on a good day, because this is the same day I watched films like Can't Stop the Music, The Village People from 1980, Men, this feminist feminazi piece of crap, and what was the other film? Natural Born Killers, which I liked, but it's not really the most uplifting movie. But I do like the film for what it is. That just seemed a bit dumb robot versus robot and robot versus monster movie with, a likable John Boyega as the lead. I do like him as an actor. It's just I don't think he's gotten the best parts, especially those Disney Star Wars. They fucked him over. So liking John Boyega. The pacing didn't bother me. It felt like it went fast enough. I wasn't too bored. Robots fight robots. It's cool. I understand what's going on in the action. I'm not confused. Doesn't seem like a bumblefuck in terms of editing. I don't mind the idea where you find out the Yaders, they're controlled by the Kaiju brains. I don't know if I was hoping maybe a bit more of that was going to be into play. Where there's no monsters. Now it's them literally turning their technology against them. And so it'd be the Yader versus like a dozen of their Yaders, but now transformed and messed up. But no, it's like, well, we gotta have the Kaiju in there, so now it goes back to them fighting these monsters like in the first movie. There's a part of me that wonders if it would have been better if they did stick with just the robot. It's these cloned alien brains and all these units. Because really it's like they're in these drone type of things, and then it's up to the British guy and blah blah hack into it, blah blah blah, they'll all shut down. I'd be like, no, that'd be like, have your 3-4 left against these 4, 5, 6, 7, however many. They'll make our characters the underdogs, and it'd be a different type of fighting. Like we saw a little bit earlier with the robot versus robot fight. The bit I liked was in Siberia in the ice where our characters, John Boyega and Scott Eastwood, have to outwit. So it's in the water and it shoots up and it makes the other go in the water and then goes to sucker punch them. That probably was my favorite fight in the movie. I'm like, okay, that could be cool. Like, hey, you know what, we have a plan. Let's separate them and spread them out. And then each one take out. Or they're separated across the world. And our Yaders have to go in there. And we all have to hopefully work together and each kick some ass. Well, I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Like I said, I don't blame people for... I don't blame for you... I can't talk. I don't blame people for not liking the film. Again, this is not a film I would give high praise to. Like I said, at best, I would give it a 3 out of 5. Junk food time waster. But again, it's just... either because I've seen much worse, or I've seen much more boring, or I like John Boyega, or something else in between. Caught me on a good day, whatever. I thought this was mild diversion entertainment, if that makes sense. It's not something I call underrated. It's not something I root for and put on my dukes to defend. It just was what it was. And, like I said, I just thought it was less boring than the first. And I think John Boyega is a lot more fucking charismatic and entertaining of a lead than Charlie Hunnam. Ooh, again, he was about as equivalent as his can. That's how much emotion Charlie Hunnam got in that movie. And like I said, the little girl, I just thought she was a better actress than the Asian chick. I forgot her name. Shows how much I give a shit. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.